in October, I read mostly bangers, like absolutely some of my favorite books I read all year. And then we had a reading slump. So, you know, here we are. So let's talk about it. I read 5 books. I might, by the time this goes up, I might have finished the audiobook that I'm listening to, which I'll talk about at the end before we jump into what I'm going to be reading for November, because I'm going to also read that in November, like finish it if I haven't finished it yet. But we'll see. So let's start with the 5 books I've actually finished as of filming this on the 30th. The first book, and the first absolute banger, Under the Pendulum Sun by Janet. I'm just been saying Ng. I don't actually know how you pronounce her last name, and I feel bad. But anyway, this is gothic horror set in the Fae Wild. I say Fae Wild like because that's like what D&D calls it. And I know some like fantasy books also use Fae Wild. I don't think this book did or not. But anyway, it's the 1800s, and humans have figured out how to cross between the land of the Fae and our world. And so, of course, they sent Christian missionaries to go preach the gospel. And it is about Catherine, who's the sister of one of the missionaries, going to like visit her brother, and it's very atmospheric, and I love a good corruption story. Like, and that's all I will say without like spoiling this book, but like it was so good. It was so good. I love this book so much. Absolutely one of my favorite books of the year that I've read. Because you'll see this in like December, but the way that I rank books is I go like new books and then like new to me books. And this is currently, I think, the top, if not the top, like second. I don't have the list currently pulled up, but this is definitely making the top picks for my new to me books. Then, as a palate cleanser, I read Wisteria by Adeline Grace. This is the 3rd book in the Wisteria, the Belladonna trilogy. I don't know why I almost said the Wisteria trilogy. It's not. I'm not going to talk about too much specifics about this book, but this is a young adult fantasy loosely trilogy, about a girl named Sigma who cannot die, and the like sort of mysteries that surround the house that she's now found herself living in with her relatives. And Wisteria is the 3rd book, and is a book that is not actually about Signa, but rather about Signa's cousin. Oh gosh, what's Blythe? Anyway, I loved this. I thought this was a great wrap up. I love Blythe and Aries' relationship so much, especially through this book, because this book specifically is very much marriage of force. But, like, not in, like, a bad way, like, more in a, like, you wanted to marry my cousin, and now you're stuck with me, and we both hate each other, kind of, like, just goodness. Like, it's very much, like, not quite enemies to lovers, but more like, we don't really like each other, and now we're forced to interact, and we can't stay each other, like... It was so good, and I loved it so much. And I'm very excited because we are getting a novella next year. But also she's now writing a adult fantasy series, so I'm very excited about that as well. Next up in the, again, absolute bangers category, we have The Sins on Their Bones. This is a standalone fantasy novel, which I do love. As much as I love me some like fantasy series, I do love a good standalone. This is about a oh gosh, who's anyone's names? Tsar named Dmitri, who has been dethroned by his estranged husband, who is a practicer of what he calls holy magic, and it's about him. So it's about Dmitri and his like found family of like the remaining members of his court, trying to end the reign of his estranged husband. It is so good. I love that it's, because it's multiple POVs, so we get Dmitri, we get, oh gosh, Alexei, who is Dmitri's like husband, and then we also get the spy master, whose name currently escapes me, but yes, I loved this so much. So good. Next up, we have Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. And can we just please take a moment to just appreciate the detail on this boy? Also, I would like to thank Angry Robot for putting this novella in hardback. Because if this had been paperback, I would have been kind of sad because then it wouldn't match my copy of Evocation. So this is the prequel novella for Evocation by S.T. Gibson, which is book 1. So this is book 0.5 in the Summoner Circles series. And it follows, I'm actually not going to talk about, like, okay, if you've read book 1 and you know why Reese and David aren't talking, this is this story. David makes a cameo. He's not really in it. It's mainly Moira and Reese. I thought this was so cute. I loved it. Like, obviously, like, we as the audience who have read Evocation first before reading this, like, knew what was going to happen, like, knew everything was going to be okay, but I still really liked it. I should note that while this did come out in October, this is actually a re-release, and this actually did release before Evocation, but you can read it in either order. If you're just starting the summer series, I definitely recommend reading this first and then reading Evocation, but this was a nice, like, tide me over until book 2, which is coming next summer, so I'm very happy. And then for the book that I'm pretty sure caused my reading slump, which, okay, I say that, but, like, this book wasn't bad. It just wasn't, the expectation of and what I got were not the same things. And that is The God of Endings. So, okay, this is about a vampire. And I feel like it didn't, I feel like it almost didn't need to be. I feel like this could have been an Age of Adeline situation, and it would have worked just as well, if that makes sense. So this is more of a contemporary fiction in which our main protagonist, I say contemporary, it's actually not. It takes place, I think, in the 80s. I think it said 80s. Doop-de-doop. Yeah, 1984. So it's more like it's more about, like, her relationships to other humans than it is about her necessarily being a vampire, which is fine, but that's not what I wanted and not what I thought I was getting myself into. So it was just more that, like, expectations did not meet reality kind of thing. And again, I think this is a really well, like, written, beautiful book. It didn't end up being my cup of tea because it wasn't what it wasn't the vibes that we were going for, and yeah, I was just kind of, like, sad about it, but whatever. So like I said, I am currently listening to an audiobook. I'm currently listening to Annihilation by Jeffrey Vandermeer, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's really interesting having watched the movie first and then like, and comparing, like, what I remember them having definitely changed versus, like, some other things, like, haven't in this. I'm hoping, it's a very short book. It's under 200 pages. And the audiobook is, like, 6 hours, and I think I'm, like, 3 hours in. So I'm hoping to knock it out in the next 2 days. But I'm gonna put this video, I'm gonna upload this video to YouTube probably today, so I won't, so I'll talk about it in November when I finish it. And now I'm going to throw it over to me from probably a couple days ago, talking about what books I'm going to read, because I've known for a while now, so I just, like, filmed that when I had the spoons for it. So yeah, take it away past me. There's 4 books that I'm for sure going to get to, and we'll talk about those. And then I've decided for the rest of, after those 4 books, for November and December, it's just going to be whatever vibes I'm feeling. So because of that, we're just going to show you what books I'm prioritizing for the rest of the year. And then this will be, like, and then, like, I'll re-show, like, whatever I didn't get through and when I do November wrap up. Or I won't. I don't know. So, the 4 books that I'm for sure going to get to. Now, these are all going to be audiobooks, even though I do own a physical copy of one of them, which we'll get to last. The first one is Two Can Play. Hang on. Yes, it is Two Can Play by Ellie Hazelwood. This is currently a Spotify exclusive, but I know she did say that, like, once the contract expires, it will be available other places as an audiobook, and that it might also be later released as an ebook. I'm hoping for a physical book, but it is a novella. So like literally this thing in total is like 4 hours. So it'll be very quick, like fast. I should also explain why all of these first 4 books are going to be audiobooks. And that is because this one obviously just like currently is only available as an audiobook. The other 2, I wanted to get from the library. And if I'm getting it from the library through Libby, I'm going to get the audiobook and not the ebook. Because I just don't like reading ebooks on my phone. I don't know why. Because like I'll read fan fiction on my phone all day, every day. But I don't like reading like books on my phone. I don't know, it's a weird thing that I have. Unless it's like the only option, then I will. But typically, I try not to. Unless like a novella size, like, you know, under 300 pages, then I'm fine with it. So yes. Also, because November is NaNoWriMo, I am, even though I'm not participating in any way with the actual organization, and I will link a video explaining all of their current controversies down below, which is why I'm not participating with them officially, but I am still doing NaNoWriMo, because really, you don't really need to like deal with the organization to like actually participate in Nano, so I won't be. So yeah, so I wanted like audiobooks so I could like still read during November, but then also like feel like I'm not choosing between being productive for Nano and reading. Next up is actually a reread, and this is Tiger Lily. I have not read this in a decade, which is why I'm getting it from the library, because I don't own this book. I got it from the library when I was in high school, and I loved it. So this is a reread. Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna still, like, I'm not sure if, like, 27-year-old me and 17-year-old me's, views of books are gonna, like, be consistent for everything. But this one in particular, I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm like, what if I don't like it anymore? Because this book so this is a reimagining of Peter Pan, told from Tiger Lily's perspective. And it is literally the reason why I became obsessed with Peter Pan in my teenage years. I mean, to be fair, like, I was already kind of a little bit, but it was more my sister's thing than mine until I read this book. So yeah, I'm also pretty sure that, like, this book and, like, 2015's Pan are, like, so, my love of them are so, like, entangled and enmeshed because they're about a year apart. So yeah, I rewatched Pan recently, so now I'm like, I should reread Tiger Lily. So we're gonna reread Tiger Lily and hope it lives up to my memory of how much I love this book. I'm also going to be doing the audiobook for Mudbound, because I liked the movie, but I'm not sure if that was going to translate to me liking the book. I also, I've done like a little bit of like the barest amount of research into the author, and I'm not sure how I feel about like a white lady writing this narrative. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna do it. Then the book that I'm gonna do as an audiobook, even though I have the physical copy, is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I really want to finish this, but I don't know if it's like when I started it in the hotel. Like, I actually got from this book that I thought I did. I realized I'm like chapter 5. I'm gonna start over from the beginning, to be honest, when I get this. But I think it was just the time that I was reading it in the hotel, and what I had previously read, where like the font was like really bugging me a little bit. I don't know. I'm slightly dyslexic, so like it wasn't helping. But I figured this would be a really good one, I think, to do on audiobook. And I know that the Libby holds were fast enough that I put on hold thinking, oh, I'll not have it till like in the next month. And it was like, would you like it now? And I was like, actually, let's pause it until the 1st. So I will be getting this on audiobook just so I can like read it. And then also I like the idea of having both this in physical and then also the audiobook, because if I end up going to the Silent Seattle book club for November, and I'm currently still in the middle of this, I can just bring the physical book and like read it. But I also might have to pull another book from the stack for that, but we'll see like kind of where we are. But yes, so very excited about that. Now this rest of the stack is in no particular order. It's kind of in the order that I think I might get to it, but again, I am purely just gonna let myself be a mood reader for the last, which I largely am. Every once in a while, like I do have like a stack, but the stack sort of is the monthly vibes that I think I'm gonna want, and I allow myself to change the plans. But these are like what I want to definitely get to between now and the end of the year. There's one book that's not in this stack, and that is I'm going to reread Desperate Measures by Katie Roberts, because the traditionally published version is now out. I don't know my copies are arriving from Patreon, but I do know that it is out now. And this edition has like a bunch of other additional things, like the short stories that were part of Wicked Villains short story collection. It has annotations from Katie herself. So yeah, I'm very excited to like reread the book, but also it's kind of it's different enough that it's not a full reread, and it'll be interesting. I'm very excited about that. But these are, again, the other books that I definitely want to get to this year. Speaking of Katie, this is Ruthless Redemption. This is book 6 in the O'Malley series. It was previously published as The Bastard's Bargain. I am so excited to finally be done with the series because I have been enjoying it, but also like it's been 2 years of my life slowly reading this series. So I'm very excited to be done and move on to other things. Not because I'm not enjoying it, but like because it's just like, you know, this chapter is coming to an end, and I'm actually excited about that. Next we have A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. I loved Darker Shade of Magic. I'm so excited to get to this. It might be a while before I get to book 3 because this particular editions are no longer in print. So finding book 3 that matches this cover has been difficult. I have not given up yet, but I'm definitely like I'm gonna have to hunt it down. It's fine. But yes, so definitely that. Unlocking the Tarot by Lisa Pepez. This just came out like as I'm recording this like a week ago. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. I love Lisa's videos. She was one of the first like tarot tubers I started watching when I started learning tarot. So I'm very excited to like read her book. I know she has another one, that's Self-Worth Path, but I don't have that one. I just have Unlocking the Tarot. Then Resistance Reborn by Rebecca Rojas. Look, I think I've talked about, was it here? I don't think it was here. I think it was somewhere else. I was talking about how this book apparently has like the closest we'll get to Finfo being canon, which is why I have it, because I love that trip so much. In reading sequels to books that I started, series that I started recently, The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 2 in the Broken Earth trilogy. I have heard that some people do not like this as much as book 1, but I'm still very excited to read this because book 1 was like phenomenal, and I think this will be really good, especially for like this time of year. Like, I don't know, there's something about, and I read book 1 like February, so I'm saying this as someone who's like read book 1 in like winter, so reading this one in like fall wintry feels correct. I also want to get to, just because it's quick and short, and I've had it for forever, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. For those of you who don't know, this is what inspired Bloody Butter. So yes, I've had this literally for forever, so and it's short, so I think that I can definitely get to this by the end of the year. And those are the books that are like the priority. Again, if I get to all of them, cool. If not, it's whatever. I'm really scared because as of right now, I am at, hang on, let me pull up Storygraph before I like talk on my butt and then say the wrong number. Okay, so I am at 82 books. Storygraph says 83, but that is because there was an article that I included one day to count as my, because I didn't want to lose my like reading, because I didn't want to lose my reading streak. I counted an article that I read, even though I tagged it as not a book, it still counted it as like part of my reading goal. So it says 83. I'm at 82, which is one more book than my reading goal already. And I am filming this middle of October, like this half that you're watching right now. So the way that I've always done my reading goals is it's just the number of books that I read the year prior. So last year I read 81 books. So this year my goal was 81 books. So, and again, it's the middle of October as of right now I'm filming this part. So any of these books that I finish between now and the end of the year means another book that I have to read next year. So next year is going to probably be a really ambitious number, especially if I, again, finish all, hang on, because what? Four audiobooks, and then one, two, three, four, five, six. So assuming that I finish everything in there, in the stack, and the Desperate Measures, that's 11. That's 11 titles. On top of so that means that next year would be like, hang on, 11 plus 82, so 93. It's entirely possible that next year my reading goal is going to be like in the 90s, which is like I've done before, but normally the years that I hit those higher numbers are the number like 92, and like the one year that I did like 110, I think it was. Those were years where I was not planning on doing that, and the years that I set those goals, those higher numbers, are the years that I fail. So, I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. Like, should that end up being the number, I'm a little hesitant. Like, I'm a little apprehensive of my ability to actually meet that goal. Now, that being said, I do know that next year, one of the things I'm prioritizing is reading all 4 volumes of Monster. So, it could happen. It could happen. I also know that I probably am going to pick up some more Criminal next year. So like those are graphic novels. So like I'll knock them out like pretty easily. But yeah, I think we're also getting another Katie. You know what? I think I remember seeing in the Patreon that Demon's Queen, the next book in the next book in the Succubus, or Deal with the Demon. I almost called the Succubus Prize series, and I was like, no, that's the last book. But I'm pretty sure that the next book in that we might be getting this year as well. So, it's entirely possible that, like, yeah, it's entirely possible my reading goal is going to be, like, in the 90s and for next year, and I'm not. It's going to be wild. Might be pulling a lot of short books out. But, we'll see. I also know that next year, one of my goals, and I'll talk about this like later, and I'm stealing this from Murphy. I can't really think of her actual channel right now. But normally for her, she does December's like rereads, and I really want to start doing that. But like I said, next year. There's too many books that I want to like get to by the end of this year that because yeah, like I said, it's 11. There's 11 books. So I don't think that I'd be able to do all. There's no way I would be able to do all 11 in November. So, but yeah, that is the plan. And thank you so much for watching.